And hi everyone, I'm Athira, and I'm really happy to be here with you all. As designers, we often talk about usability, accessibility, or innovation. But what truly makes a design meaningful is empathy. It's about understanding not just what others do, but why they do it, what they feel, what frustrates them, and what makes them smile. So, today, the title of today's session, Designing with Empathy. It isn't just a design philosophy. It's about shifting how we see the people we design for. It's about moving beyond the happy path, beyond that perfect scenario where everything works as expected, and stepping into the messy, emotional, and very human side of user experience. Over the next hour, we'll explore what empathy really means in design, how emotions influence user behavior, and how understanding them can help us create experiences that feel human, not just functional. So, before we start, take a second to think of one product or app that you emotionally connect with, something that feels almost personal to you. Keep that in mind as we go through today's session because we'll circle back to it later. What is empathy? Empathy is seeing the world through another person's eyes, not to fix them, but to understand them. In design, it means stepping into the user's life and feeling what they feel when they interact with our product. Empathy versus sympathy. Sympathy says, I feel sorry for you. Empathy says, I feel with you. Design needs both empathy to understand, sympathy to care. Together, they create products that respect emotion as much as logic. And coming to one of the real world examples, um, as part of my last organization, I got to explore the Mysore Devraj market. And there we in teams went and interviewed many of the vendors there, observed the situations there. And one of the things that we found was many of the vendors were struggling with carrying the load through the narrow paths. The path is bumpy, and there were steps also. So it was hard for them to navigate through it. And also, you know how heavy traffic can be there inside the market. So we thought of a solution for it. Initially, we came up, we have something similar to a wheelbarrow, but that doesn't solve the problem of navigating it through steps. Then we thought of coming up with something having a small crevices in the wheels, which can easily help us go through it. And then we created a bigger version of the prototype, also adding multiple other features like the vendors, they can easily carry the load on their back if they wish, so that we added cushions to the handle and which enables the users to easily load it up on their back in case they need to carry it in the escalators or anywhere, and to easily navigate through. When there is a lot of people in the market, they can easily take it up. And also, instead of a single person carrying a single load, they can carry multiple loads together in this. Yeah, and this improved the mobility and reduced the physical strain for the vendors. This is one example. And also, if we take the railway stations, in many of the railway stations, moving around can be challenging for elderly travelers and people with disabilities. Traveling from the entrance to the train or switching platforms, it is not always easy. Escalators help, but they're not fully accessible for everyone, and carrying luggage while navigating crowds adds stress and physical strain. To address this, the station introduced a golf cart service along with redesigned pathways for smooth navigation. Travelers can now move comfortably without worrying about the journey being tiring or complicated. Importantly, the service is designed so that baggage restrictions are in place, meaning it doesn't affect the station porter's operations or workload. The result? The passengers experienced reduced physical strain, improved accessibility, and a more inclusive, stress free experience. This is a great example of how empathy driven design can solve real problems, making daily travel easier and more dignified for everyone. why empathy actually matters in design. When empathy drives a design, the users feel understood. It helps us anticipate the needs. It helps to reduce the frustration and build trust between the user and the product. But empathy must be balanced. It should not feel too cold or more, very fake. For example, if you take the scenario over here, if when at night when you're ordering a food and the restaurant is closed, in that case, if the screen shows up, oh no, your favorite restaurant is closed, we feel your pain. It doesn't create much of a effect to the user. But at the same time, if it shows like looks like this restaurant is closed, here are some similar options that you can try out. That creates a much more balanced uh, outcome. And it's not emotional overdrive, it's always emotional accuracy that we should focus on. And empathy based design goes beyond making things look good. It's about creating thoughtful, meaningful experiences that truly work for people. It's about considering the emotions behind every interaction, understanding how users feel and what challenges they might face. This includes thinking about edge cases, not just the ideal situations, so no one is left out. In the end, it's about designing inclusively for all users, not just some, making sure every experience is accessible, intuitive, and considerate of everyone's needs. Here's something to think about. Today, we design for yesterday's problems. When will we design for today's and tomorrow's challenges? In the past, design was limited by outdated UI patterns that worked for the technology and expectations of that time. In the present, we have modern devices and current patterns that shape how people interact, but even these can quickly become obsolete. Looking to the future, AI powered interfaces and emerging technologies will redefine what users need and expect. The question is, are we designing for what was, what is, or what will be? True innovation comes from anticipating tomorrow's challenges today. For example, if we take the Netflix streaming platform, yesterday's streaming design was about quantity. There were a lot of content for the users to watch, but it was confusing for them what to choose and everything. But today, what they've done is Netflix focuses on quality of choice, tackling decision fatigue with features like topics, play something, or autoplay suggestions for whatever is similar to what you have watched. And these create a much more connection between the user and the platform. And tomorrow, it's about predictive empathy. Mood based recommendations can come up that adapt to how the users feel. So it's always empathy evolves from what users do to why they do it. In the physical world, empathy is felt through touch, comfort, space, and around the surroundings in which the product is and everything. But in the digital world, it's conveyed through tone, microcopy, and personalization. Different mediums, same human need, connection. Coming to empathy in UX, it's more than just observing or recording user behavior. It's about truly feeling their pain points. It's not enough to ask what users do. We also need to understand why they do it and go a step further. How would I, as a user, experience this? By putting ourselves in the user's shoes, we design experiences that are not only usable but genuinely meaningful and human centered. For example, while creating a product for a pregnant woman, the what the designers do is they carry around a weight, a similar kind of weight around their waist, and try out the products to understand what is the problem and what can be done and what will create comfort while using that product. And here we can see a case study where you select 20 people at once and mark them as active from inactive. Then you need to assign a task to 18 out of that 20. What happens? The selection is gone. We have to reselect again. And then you have to assign another task to the 10 out of that 18. Still, you have to select again. What happens? The user is frustrated. So, uh, before the users faced a repetitive selection process, selecting items one by one, losing their choices when they navigated away, and starting over again. And after applying empathetic design, we introduced a smart, persistent selection panel. Users can select some items now and continue later, maintain their choices across pages, and easily deselect without starting over. The result, what was once frustrating, becomes smooth, intuitive, and enjoyable. Design that truly empathizes with the user. Empathy isn't intuition, it's built systematically. Building empathy in your design process starts with putting yourself in the user's shoes. As UX designers, we begin with research, conducting user interviews and observations to truly understand behaviors and needs. Next, we map the journey, identifying every touch point and pain point a user experiences. Then we focus on emotional touch points, spotting the highs and lows of their experience. Finally, we test and validate these insights with real users. By systematically building empathy throughout the process, we make more human centered design decisions, creating experiences that truly resonate with people we are designing for. Designing beyond the happy path. This means thinking about the moments that don't go perfectly. Empathy isn't just about smooth journeys. It considers exceptions like failed payments, cancellations, or confusions. For example, uh, it's very hard for my parents to navigate through e-commerce websites because once they add products to their cart, they continue with payment, the payment fails. That creates a confusion in their mind. Oh, did the products that I add into my cart are gone? Or is it still there? Do I need to add it again? So we can solve that with just a simple statement in our error message by saying we couldn't process your payment, but don't worry, your cart is saved. This reassures them. It provides a comfort to them. And each of these moments is an opportunity to turn the potential frustration into delight and trust. And here we have a persona. Meet Sarah. She's 28, a dedicated working mom, and like many of us, she's constantly juggling multiple roles. She uses her mobile during her commute, trying to make the most of every minute. With limited time between tasks and frequent interruptions from her little one, staying organized is a challenge. Her goal? To save time, stay organized, and avoid stress. Her mantra is I need this to work quickly and simply, even when I'm distracted. Understanding Sarah's experience is crucial. By empathizing with her needs and challenges, we can design solutions that fit seamlessly in her busy life, making her day just a little bit easier. Let's take Sarah's experiences and translate them into meaningful design actions. Because she's often interrupted mid task, we can add contextual reminders like, want to continue where you left off? And her limited attention span calls for a clean layout with strong visual hierarchy to reduce cognitive load. Juggling multiple responsibilities means we should provide quick actions or smart shortcuts for frequent tasks. Patchy connectivity, we enable offline or low data modes for essential features. And when she is under pressure, simple progress cues and clear confirmations give her clarity and confidence. By empathizing with Sarah, we turn her challenges into design solutions that make her experience smoother and delightful. Every frustration is a design opportunity. Inclusive design is empathy in action. Accessibility and inclusive design are not optional, they are essential. Consider this. Color blindness affects millions, yet many designs rely solely on color to convey information. To be truly accessible, we must not rely on color alone. Screen readers are vital for users with visual impairments. Ensure your design includes proper semantic markup so these tools can interpret content correctly. Font sizes, contrast, and readability at all zoom levels are crucial. Text should be legible and maintain clarity, whether at default size or zoomed in. Adhering to WCAG 2.1 AA compliance ensures your product meets international accessibility standards, making it usable for everyone, not just some. Inclusive design means considering all users regardless of ability. It's about creating experiences that are welcoming and functional for everyone. When we design for everyone, we design better for all. Personalization through empathy. It's about making users feel seen and valued. When a product recognizes a user, greeting them by their name, showing relevant updates, tasks, or upcoming events, it creates a sense of connection. Here we can see from the dynamic notifications about the meetings or buses to tailored task lists and favorite options, every interaction becomes personal. These are small touches that aren't just convenient, they show that design understands the user's context, priorities, and preferences, making the experience more meaningful and engaging. Similar to how we all might have the same device, but it's all personalized for our comfort. Coming to microcopy and tone. Imagine you're navigating a new app. You hesitate at a form field, unsure of what to enter. Then a friendly message appears. No worries, we have got your back. That small phrase transfers your experience from frustration to delight. This is the power of microcopy. The brief, thoughtful text that guides users through their journey. It's more than just words, it's about creating a human connection. Effective microcopy guides users with clarity and warmth, addresses errors with empathy, not blame, encourages actions in a friendly, inviting tone. When crafted well, microcopy doesn't just inform, it resonates emotionally with users, making them feel understood and valued. Remember, in the world of UX, it's often the smallest words that make the biggest impact. Here, let's take a look at a real world example, the Swiggy's microcopy. Design built on empathy solves real problems, not assumptions. Swiggy's team recognized that users often feel anxious during wait times, face minor confusions, or worry about errors. By using friendly human language, they turned potential frustration into delight. Your food is being prepared with extra love, reassures the users while waiting. Almost there, your delicious meal is on its way. Creates excitement and anticipation. Oops, something went wrong, but don't worry, we are fixing it. Reduces anxiety and builds trust. These small, thoughtful messages improve user engagement, retention, and brand perception. The microcopy, when crafted with empathy, transforms a user experience, creates emotional connection, and makes every interaction feel personal and reassuring. Empathy is measurable. Higher adoption, better retention, and improved satisfaction. Empathy driven design doesn't just feel good, it creates real impact. By addressing users' needs, it reduces friction and errors, helping them complete tasks more efficiently. It also encourages adoption, as intuitive and empathetic designs naturally engage users. Retention and satisfaction improve as well because users feel understood and valued throughout their journey. In the end, designing with empathy not only delight users, it drives real business success. Even the error reduction improves because users feel supported through their mistakes. Empathy adds emotional ROI to the design. Empathy transforms utility into emotion and emotion into loyalty. When users feel understood, they don't just use a product, they keep coming back, forming a sense of attachment. This emotional connection fosters loyalty, where users consistently choose your product over others. It also drives advocacy. Satisfied users recommend the product to others, spreading trust and growing your base. In short, designing with empathy turns functional experiences into meaningful relationships, creating long term engagement and growth. Let's shift our perspective from product first thinking to human first thinking. Traditional product thinking focuses on features, logic, and performance. While important, it often overlooks how people actually feel. Human first design, on the other hand, starts with feelings, needs, and delight. It asks, how can this product truly make someone's life easier, more enjoyable, or meaningful? The result? The products that people love to use, not just use. Designing for humans create experiences that resonate on a deeper level, building lasting engagement and connection. Building empathy in teams is key to creating human first products. It starts with listening more than talking, truly understanding users' experiences, spending time shadowing real users to see firsthand their challenges and emotions. Use human language to connect and co create solutions with your team and users, celebrating emotions, not just metrics. Tools for empathetic design helps us turn understanding into action. We can use empathy maps to capture what users think, feel, see, and do. User journeys show the full experience across touchpoints, while user codes being real voices into the design process. Storyboards visualize scenarios. Accessibility checklists ensures inclusivity. And persona cards keep the user front and center. Using these tools, we create designs that connect emotionally, address real needs, and delight users. When we design with empathy, we build products that people love, not just use. Empathy in research helps us understand not just what users do, but why they do it. We use tools like empathy mapping, journey mapping, and storyboards to visualize the user's context and experience. We pay attention to what they say, what they think, what they do, and what they feel. By capturing these insights, we move beyond surface level observations and design solutions that truly resonate with users, addressing both their needs and emotions. So, here's a quick empathy cheat sheet to keep in mind while designing. Pause before designing and ask yourself, what emotion am I evoking? Always validate with the diverse users and design for edge cases, not just the ideal scenarios. Write with warmth in your microcopy and test accessibility early to ensure everyone can use your product. These simple steps help embed empathy into every stage of the design process, creating experiences that truly resonate with the users. Now, bringing it all together, the future of design is rooted in emotional intelligence. Empathy helps us understand users, creating meaningful connections that drive innovation and deliver real value. When we design with both the mind and heart, we don't just create products, we craft experiences that resonate, inspire, and make a difference in people's lives. Here's a powerful truth to end with. Users may forget layouts, but they will never forget how your design made them feel. At the end of the day, design isn't just about screens or features, it's about creating emotions, building trust, and leaving a lasting impact. If we design with empathy, we create experiences that linger in the heart long after the interface is forgotten. To wrap up, here's a question for you. Is the product or application you can't imagine your day without? Think about it. What makes it emotionally meaningful for you? Design isn't just about functionality, it's about creating experiences that resonate, delight, and connect with people on a human level. Let's carry that perspective into everything we design. Thank you.